It starts by knight c3, d5, and after e4, ladies and gentlemen, you've entered into the Dunst opening. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you its tricks and traps and also how to make it a solid opening. In this position, the first trap is activated after the move d4, and here you just retreat with the knight. And if your opponent plays c5, just bring your knight to g3 because it's going to be pretty useful there. And here if your opponent plays the move e5, here you just bring out your knight to f3, attacking this pawn. And here your opponent might try to be pretty smart and bring his bishop out here, pinning this knight to the queen so that it doesn't take the pawn. Here just continue to keep your composure, bring out your bishop to c4. And if your opponent plays the move f3, trying to create a symmetrical pawn structure, here you sacrifice the queen. Yes, you sacrifice the queen. And here if your opponent takes the queen, it's just simple. It's check and checkmate. So that's the first trap. So let's return. The second trap is activated not by playing backwards here. You don't have to retreat, you go forward. And yet the most popular move is the move f5, trying to attack this pawn, which is the only defender of your knight. And remember, if you take, then I guess this knight is gone. So you wouldn't want to take. Instead, just develop your bishop on that c4 square, where it snipes through this diagonal because it's pretty powerful in the diagonal. And here, if your opponent takes, don't worry about that. Now go with your queen forward and give a check. And you're just saying, can my opponent block? Then you can just come into the center. And here this rook is being attacked. But you're just saying, can my opponent just block that attack? Then if he blocks, then it's checkmate. So now that your opponent cannot block this attack, the best move according to Stockfish is bring out the queen and accept this rook going down. But not a lot of people are going to do that. A lot of people are going to play this, and a lot of you might just be disappointed because if you take, it's just going to take your knight. But you don't have to worry because you've got this very powerful move, knight to c7 check. And believe me or not, the best move is to take by the queen. If your opponent doesn't take and tries to run away, then it's checkmate. So now that you have already seen the second trap, now let's return back to the after e4 position here, and you're going to actually see what happens if your opponent takes this pawn. Here there are three traps that I'm going to show you. So the first trap here in this position, you just bring out the bishop and you continue with your development in this position. So here your opponent is going to defend this pawn because it was getting fired, and you're just going to give him another pawn. And after it takes, you're just going to develop your knight. And if he takes this pawn, then you sacrifice the bishop. And after that, you're just going to take f3 queen. So as you already see, that's the first one. And the second one, you take this pawn. One of the most popular moves, believe me or not, is knight here. The reason why is because if your opponent develops this knight, you're just going to take, and obviously this pawn structure is terrible for your opponent. So your opponent already knows that and is most likely going to do this, and after you develop your bishop, then bring out this knight, because now they're now defending each other, which means that it's pretty cool to trade now. But in this position, what I would recommend here is knight to g5. That's what you have to play. And the whole point is like you're just saying it's a fried liver. Yes, it's a fried liver position, but the difference is that it can be stopped. But here you might just say there are no more plans. You're wrong. You bring out the queen, but you're just saying nothing special, it's just the queen coming out. Then you haven't seen what this opening is all about. Because if your opponent just plays move like bishop to e7, preparing to castle, then you sacrifice the knight. Knight takes f7, and this queen is gone. And what if my opponent takes the knight? You come in with your queen. And as you already see the evaluation by saying mate in 7. So the task that I want you to find out is how you can mate your opponent in this position. So you're going to use your gadgets and find out how to complete this chess puzzle. Okay, now that I've shown you the second trap after this move, now I'm going to show you the other trap that is activated after you take this pawn, which is activated after the move e5. Here e5 is one of the most popular responses besides the knight coming here. So what do you play here? Just continue that same move, bishop to c4, weakening this pawn. And here if your opponent plays bishop here, bishop to f5, you just play your queen here. And mind you, if your opponent takes, it's checkmate. So your opponent is not that foolish. So your opponent instead is going to develop his queen, defending this square and also defending this bishop. So in this position, the top engine line is to bring back the knight. And you're just saying, can the bishop just run away and attack the bishop? Yes, you're right, but you've got a pretty cool move. You can take it, and it doesn't matter even if your opponent takes. You're going to get a rook for a bishop, and you're completely winning in this position. The best move is for the queen to return, and when the queen returns back to defend the knight, you just return to also attack the bishop, and you're in a completely winning position. And I hope you can carry on in this position. Okay, now let's return back to that e4 position. Right here in this position, things might not be like this. Here after knight c3, your opponent might play a move like c5. Yes, there are some people that do that, which is extremely rare, but there's a trap, there's a way that you can win. Here you can just play rook to b1, but you're just saying, isn't this hilarious? Yes, me looking at this, I was surprised first, but I was shocked with the plot twist of this trap, because here after knight to f6, you continue to develop and you bring out your bishop, and here your opponent might push you around, but this will be a mistake. The best move according to the engine is actually e5, and if your opponent plays e5, strike down in the center with e4. And the whole reason is that if your opponent takes, you can take with the knight, and the bishop is defending, so it's a pretty good advantage for you. So most likely your opponent is going to bring out his bishop. If it does that, then take first, and after it takes with his knight, then just bring out your queen, adding pressure to this knight in the center. And if the knight takes here, just take back with this pawn. And if your opponent makes the mistake of developing his knight to c6, then you take here with the rook, and you already see the trouble. This thing is being targeted, and most likely your opponent is going to play rook here. And if you place that, you just sacrifice the queen, and you're just saying, and I just losing the free queen. Remember this bishop that was scoping here? It takes, but you're just saying black still has got a queen. It doesn't matter, because here after bishop to d7, you can just still take. It's now up to him. If he takes back the rook, yeah, then GG. But not all of them are going to be taking back the rook. And remember, the king cannot move, so the queen can move anyway. If the queen moves here, then the rook is just going to be coming for the queen as an open check. So the only safe square that the queen can move here is here, where the rook doesn't come back and gives an open check. So here in this position, you now attack the queen, and if the queen continues to remain in that space and near this pawn, then you've got an amazing move, which is rook to d5 check, rook to d5 check, which is an open check by the bishop. And here in this position, after king to e7, you just take here, and after you trade off, when the dust settles, you're completely winning as white. So now that I've shown you the traps here, after this, in this opening, after the move e4, I'm going to show you how to play it solidly. So here in this position, the best move according to the engine is here. Yes, it pushes, you retreat, and instead of c5 here, the best move is e5, and you continue with your development, and you bring your knight here to g3, and after knight to f6, you play knight to f3, and after bishop to d6. The moves that I'm using are one of the top engine lines and set 5 by the engine. That's why the position is equal, because you'll be playing perfect moves. and here you play bishop to c4, castles, castles. And what you're going to actually realize is that you're just going to be pushing this pawn, bringing out your bishop, and it's going to be a pretty good position. But you're just saying, wait. But in this position, what if here in this position, after d5, e4, what if he takes? Yes, there's a way to play it solidly if your opponent plays it well. Yeah, after e5, your opponent can play e5, right? And here in this position, you can just attack, and you're just going to actually see here, you're just going to be playing a normal game. Like, there's nothing that special you're going to be playing. You're going to actually have a perfectly symmetrical normal position. But I think here, to be honest, yeah, then bishop to b5 check, then obviously it's going to be a pretty good symmetrical position. Sorry. There's, in this position, it's going to be perfect and pretty symmetrical, but white has the advantage according to the engine. The engine took some time to load, but here you'll be completely win now. But it's a pretty good solid way to play this move. So if your opponent takes, the better for you now that you've discovered it. But you're just saying, wait a second, what if my opponent plays the move e5? If your opponent just plays the move e5, you just continue by attacking this pawn. This pawn can no longer move forward because it's just going to get taken. So here your opponent is going to defend, and you're just going to play the move d4 quickly. And here, if your opponent takes, then you're just going to trade off, and you're going to have the queen on the board, and it's going to be pretty advantageous. So you're just going to be bringing out your pieces and castling. And here, your opponent has no other choice but to take. So that's how you play. And you're just going to play the move e4 after that. If your opponent tries to defend, if your opponent defends here, just play here. And you're going to have a pretty good position to play in. And that's how to actually play solidly without losing in the first opening moves. And you're going to control the development, bring out your bishop, then you castle, then you've got a perfectly symmetrical position. If you enjoyed this video, like this video to support this channel, and may you mind clicking on the subscribe button. And if you're interested in other good openings, click on the playlist that is showing up on your screen right now.